are back, and wanted to pick up on a conversation that we got started on one of the comment boards. It was a discussion about minority characters, and Sar and Demar had a really good back and forth going.
I don't think it was Sar and Demar.
Not Sar and Demar? Just Demar?
It was mostly Demar, but it might have been Locus
I think Locus Mortis interjected a bit. That's true. Basically saying that...
Or Black Phoenix. Yeah, you should really write these down.
I really should. Sorry. Not terribly crazy about the Black Panther character, because we had talked about how some characters, some nationalities, some ethnicities aren't as represented in comics as much as others. And I kind of asked, what is it about a black character that makes it a successful character? Because one comment that was made was that the Black Panther book is written for black folk. Mm-hmm. That there are a lot of things that are done with the character to make it seem of that ethnicity. And some of our viewers kind of took exception to that. You know, why make the character so obviously black? Now, mind you, the Black Panther, and I know I'm going to step in it here, the Black Panther isn't so much black as he is African. Mm-hmm. And there is a distinction there. I mean, if you grow up, and not everyone who's of dark, if you're a dark-skinned person, you weren't necessarily of African descent. I have a lot of folks who, I have a lot of family members who are very dark-skinned. They appear as if they're black or African-American, but they're not. They're Puerto Rican or Cuban descent. So just because you're black doesn't mean you're African. But the Black Panther is African. He's an African prince from an African nation. And I think a lot of effort goes into showing that. So I don't know what it is. What does it take to make a character acceptable within the minority community, if not just changing the color of their skin? I don't know. I don't get it.
Actually, I actually want to ask a question to the people who were commenting on the blog. I remember a few years ago when they announced that Storm was going to marry the Black Panther.
Right.
And when that happened, there was just something wrong about that to me.
Right.
It was like
there's the only two black characters in the X universe.
Right, and obviously they need to be married.
Right.
And then I remember when they announced that, then they came out with that Storm miniseries that totally added stuff to her background where she knew T'Challa back when they were younger.
Right.
And then that opened the doorway for them to be married.
Right.
But I always thought that was kind of like a slap in the face. Like, just because they're the two prominent black characters in the Marvel Universe, mm-hmm. one male, one female, that they need to be together.
I see.
I never understood.
I know.
I always bought the relationship between Forge and Storm a lot more than I ever did with the Black Panther and her.
Yeah, but then they turned Forge into a total prick or something. So I don't know. I don't even know what the current status of Forge is. All I know is that if you use his name, if the X-Men say his name, that's like swearing or something. On the other hand, I'll take the opposite side with you. I mean, while it does seem like a bit of a contrivance having the two of them together, I mean, again, Storm is also of African descent.
Right.
And she was considered a goddess when she was younger. So I can see them bringing them together. But
it seemed a bit forced when it happened, though.
Yeah.
And that's just how I felt about it.
Well, I also felt that the marriage of Mary Jane and Peter Parker was pretty forced, too. I always thought Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker were meant to be together.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard when one of them's dead.
One of them's dead, but they, killing her. But in any case, so then let's put that out there. I mean, do you think that this is, kind of pandering? I guess that's what we're trying to say here. That if you take a character and you try to make it so ethnic, I guess, mm-hmm. yeah, it what I'm getting is it kind of restricts the character to people of certain ethnicities. And another comment was made, make it as widely appealing as you can. Mm-hmm. You don't think of Spider-Man as a white guy or a black guy. You just think of him as Spider-Man. Right. So if you write the character like that, then fine. But then here, let me give you the opposite side of the argument. then what's the point? If you don't care if Spider-Man is white or black, or if his character is so widely appealing to everyone, why should we even care what the color of their skin is? I myself do think there is an importance to that. I think people, especially when you're young, you identify with these characters. And if you have something in that character that makes them more appealing to you, something that you can identify with, Zorro was always one of my favorite heroes because he was a Latino hero. Okay? You know, it's of course a hero that inspired so many others like Batman and Indiana Jones. You know, this is a point of pride for me to say that this is a character that, you know, shares my heritage.
How about El Chapulín Colorado? Isn't he a better hero? That was my favorite hero growing up.
My parents used to watch that when I was a kid.
My dad used to watch that, and I used to love that fucking show. He's my favorite superhero.
The character that Jose is referencing is kind of like the Spanish Scarlet Pimpernel.
For Christmas I found a T-shirt online that it was like a superhero logo, except it had the CH with the heart on it. I bought that for Christmas. He like fucking loved it. He's like, "Where did you get this?" And I'm like, I can't believe that they made it. It was so fucking awesome that they would make that. But
yeah.